We are in the middle of the great resignation, and so many of your prospects and customers are jumping ship, going to other places where they can find greener pastures. The problem is, that's money leaving, and oftentimes you don't even have the capability of getting in contact with those folks. You probably could try to keep track of this on your own, but imagine if you had a way, think about this, you had a way to track every single one of your clients or prospects you're tracking, you're trying to work with, who may be leaving and going to other organizations. Imagine if you got notified every single morning of where they are and what you could say to them. Wouldn't that be cool? Well, listen, I know magician, but my guests today, they created something that can make that happen. You're going to love this episode. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another great episode of the Sales Evangelist podcast. I'm your host, Donald Kelly, the Sales Evangelist. Imagine if we can go to all of our past customers and have them bring us into the companies where they're at right now and help us to be able to sell that organization. Like, think how much more opportunities could be generated. Essentially, that's what they're doing. And on this episode, we're going to share with you how that can be done, what it takes to make that happen, and then also give you an idea of what you can do. Hopefully this inspires you. If this is your first time watching one of our podcasts, I beg you to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. One of the things that, obviously the title of this episode, tying back to this relationship mapping, you kind of alluded to that. Break that down a little bit more. What exactly is that term? I know you kind of spoke to it a little bit there, but is this a new term you pioneered as well?
Yeah, so actually, let's think of an account-based puzzle piece. There are three types of compelling events or triggers that matter to your audience. Number one is very common and popular, called buying intent. So imagine knowing who's Googling a keyword or downloading an ebook on your website. Yeah. These are people raising their hand and showing interest. That's category puzzle piece number one. Puzzle piece number two, we'll call product usage. So imagine knowing who's using what software. How does that integrate or connect well with you? Do you have a great symbiotic relationship between people that use certain tools? Yeah. That's category number two. The third is a category that we're attempting to pioneer and bring forward, is the fact that human beings make the decisions in businesses. So why don't we follow the humans? And relationships come in three different flavors. You either have a customer relationship, somebody leaves your customer base and goes into a named account, a customer, a prospect that you care about. Two, your competitors have the same sort of relationships. So where do they leave employment, or who has skills, certifications, and projects launched with your competitor? Or three, you have a pending relationship. This is an ideal customer profile, and you have a brand new key stakeholder that either took a new job or got promoted that you want to forge a relationship, but there's a brand new trigger or compelling event in that business. So these relationships, if you inherently believe that people set priorities in businesses and people buy from people, then follow the people. And we just need to follow the relationships. One of the things that the team can really do is identify which customers are because we've been just talking about kind of the net new side. Yeah. But let's focus in on what actually drives the greatest enterprise value and impact for a company. It's customer retention, especially for software companies, because of net retention revenue. So you have to focus so intently on protecting that core customer. And every single day, week and month, somebody's trying to chip away at the mind share. It doesn't mean your direct competitor is actually trying to steal away that account. But if you sell again to that CMO, somebody's chipping away at the mind share of their wallet and where they can divert priority. And it's really important as an organization that you hone in on those accounts. And at the very least, if you never used a solution like ours, setting up your own alerts in LinkedIn to ensure that you know, and again, it's predicated that people make decisions in businesses. Priorities are set by people, not by companies. So follow the people. And how are to those people who come into the organization, what are their past experiences? because people bring in biases when they get into a business. When they're in a new business, they bring in the people, process, and technology that made them successful in the past. And it's been touted that in the first 100 days on the job, they'll spend either physically, they'll have deployed, or they'll they will have either physically deployed or kind of mentally deployed up to 70% of their remitted budget in 100 days. So they get in there, they want to make an impact. So knowing where everyone's going and what is their past experience can help dictate, using best guessing, what objectives and priorities is this company going to forge forward in the future. For me, messaging best practices, it looks like in 4 components. First piece is around that interconnection, that social connection between, hey, we used to work together at this company, we ran this project. So that's kind of the first part of the message, to bring them back to how we're connected. Yep. Second part of the message is the value creation. You're now at this new business. Hopefully this initiative is important to you, and you can make value 3 ways. You make the money, save the money, or mitigate risk. So be clear on, now that you're at company ABC, we can either make you money, save you money, or mitigate risk. Third part of the message is the knowledge exchange or value exchange. I'm a big believer that when I'm booking a meeting, I'm actually not selling a solution. I'm doing a time for knowledge exchange. So if I'm trying to book a meeting with you, what you have to give to me is time. What I have to give to you is more knowledge. So I have to include in that message something that's tangible enough that shows you something you don't already know, a nugget of gold, where you go, I'm willing to exchange 30 minutes next Thursday to learn more, because the opportunity cost of not knowing it would be pretty high. So I've got to give you something there. And then the fourth piece is the call to action. So that's how we're kind of coaching our customers on messaging. Bring them back to remembering why you're interconnected, value creation, value exchange, call to action.
What if there's one major takeaway you would like somebody to walk away with from our conversation today? What's that one major insight?
The major insight is, if you have a total addressable market of hundreds or thousands of accounts, it will amaze you what a small change in an account that could have been stuck, one simple job change, doesn't even have to come from your customer base. That we have, our own customers are telling us stories like, oh my God, I unlocked an account that I've been stuck for 2 or 3 years. They finally had a new key stakeholder get in that account who was open-minded.
Yeah.
As long as you have a TAM that's warrants worth monitoring at scale, hundreds or thousands of accounts, one single account that could be worth 5, 6, 7, 8 figures, it's so valuable for you to know what's going on.
Ooh-wee, money in the bank. Ladies and gentlemen, Jamie Shanks. Go ahead and connect with him on LinkedIn. Also, check out the organization. You can find all the detail here on the bottom of the screen. I also have links down there as well. It's called Pipeline Signals, pipelineSignals.com. You can find all the details there. Again, Pipeline Signals. I highly encourage you to take advantage of this. And even if you're not going to necessarily partner with Jamie at this point in his organization and use Pipeline Signals, perhaps you can start looking at the customers that you have right now and start mapping those people. How many of those people can you continue to build a relationship with, and also see if they can take you into other organizations? I promise you there will be amazing things that will come if you can do this effectively. All this being said, all this content, all this goodness, because I want you to raise your level of thinking, and I want you to go out each and every single day and do big things. Thanks so much for watching.